Auto chaps, I'm MagicalMike, and let's have a quick chat about the Edge of the Mists patch. First off, let's mention the only bad thing, the remade flame-kissed armour. It's pretty lame that they just reskinned the feathered set, but at least they listened to the community outcry so quickly. So good and bad. And that's all I really have to complain about that is actually legitimate, which is good news. The meat of the patch was the story, which is what I've been asking for a long while now. It's good that we finally got a lot of dialogue in the patch. I enjoyed just listening to what the characters had to say about everything, and that the whole main story bits were voice acted. Now I know it's always voice acted, but because there was so much of it in this patch I was quite surprised. There's a ton of information you can ask about when you talk to Timmy though, which isn't voice acted, but that wasn't a problem because it was all optional anyway. It's nice that the writers can play with the character development more easily now, and it clearly shows in stark contrast to previous installments. Well done. I do still think though that it's strange that the change has been so sudden, because it still feels quite obviously so. Hopefully they'll keep it up and the feeling will fade, and it'll become normal to have a lot of dialogue in every patch. As for what happens, well, without spoiling too much, it's not a lot to be honest. In terms of PvE gameplay we got barely anything, which I'm not complaining about for once. We just got a lot of opportunities to tie the story together properly, which was a much needed thing for those people that aren't paying attention. For those of us that are though, it really wasn't any sort of a surprise to hear what Marjorie and Casimir had to say about the items in the Dead End bar. It was a good way to actually get people to think about things though. However, having only one correct option for each piece kind of diluted the experience a little bit. I think Vorp should have had a bit more to say about other options rather than just blowing the theories off as stupid or nonsensical. Also, having all of this dialogue happen so quickly and suddenly to tie it all up, as I said before, kind of feels a little bit odd, but that might be just because we're getting it so suddenly like this. Hopefully the feeling will diminish and we'll get more and more as time goes on. So we get reasons for why Scarlet has done most of the things that she's done previously, such as pairing the Flame Legion and the Dredge together to take advantage of technology that they would create. In this example, she wanted to use their sonic devices for either her thumper detector device thingies or for digging something up. I'm not completely sure yet, they might have told me or I might have just forgotten, I can't remember. But we get clarifications like that for each and every item in the room, which I think is very nice. In the end, the conclusion that we come to is that she's going to attack Lion's Arch. This came as absolutely no surprise to me, but it seems to have caused quite a stir in the community, along with the trailer for the next patch, Escape from Lion's Arch. We'll have to see if the hype is warranted this time, because ArenaNet are famously good at getting the hype train rolling and then incredibly being disappointing. I really hope that they can stop doing that. I have hope left in my heart that they can actually step up their game. I think overall, if we should be expecting this amount of story to come from future patches, then I'll be much happier about it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I will admit though, I'm interested to see what happens in the final two patches, even though I already sort of know because of some people spoiling it and because of just listening to the damn story. Apart from the story, we got Edge of the Mists, a new World v World map that came out of beta finally. It's been in beta for quite a long time and it shows because it looks very good. I can't really comment on it all that much unfortunately because I seem to lag horribly when I'm in there. I think that's to do with my connection though, but hopefully I'll get a good chance to play with it soon enough. It at least looks really good mechanically and visually. The achievements also look reasonable for a player like myself too, who doesn't want to devote too much time to World v World, so it isn't on the level of capture 500 stone mist castles. It's much more reasonable. And there we go. Not a lot of PvE content, a huge World v World update, and some hope for future patches. We'll see what comes next time, won't we? I'm MagicalMike, my brew has in repeated fashion gone cold again, and I will see you guys next time. Cheerio.